Hare Krishna, everyone. So I just wanted to say thank you very much to Vrindavan Keli Mataji for making such wonderful arrangements for Janaki Mataji there in Sridham Mayapur. She's really gone well over and beyond all expectations, and I really appreciate it. And so does His Holiness Kesha Bharati Maharaj. Everyone is very grateful for what you've done, so thank you very much. Keli Vrindavan Mataji is very wonderful, and I'm sure that Janaki is also smiling down upon you on this occasion. I just thought it would be nice to read the offering that I wrote for a memorial service that we had here. I wrote this while I was in America, because when she was passing away, I was actually at home last year visiting my family, and so therefore it was very difficult for me to connect with her. We did speak on the phone once or twice and exchanged some messages, but obviously I was so far away that I couldn't really get to her so easily, which was quite unfortunate. So anyway, I wrote something. So I'll more or less just read that now. So if you please bear with me. Dear Janaki Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to His Holiness Keshava Bharati Das Goswami Maharaj. Although we are taught to treat any woman other than your wife as mother, I always found that hard with you. From the time we first met, you were more like a sister to me, an older sister who is able to be respectful while at the same time very encouraging and also guiding. You always had this way of making me feel that things were all right, and that it was okay to care about and express concern and compassion for others. You always had this optimistic mood, amazingly optimistic mood, and way of staying positive no matter what happened, and trying to see the good in every situation, although you were absolutely no pushover, and definitely were not afraid to let someone know what you thought if you felt it was for the betterment of that person. You really had a zest for life and Krishna consciousness that was unique and special to you. You had an individual knack for inspiring others in Krishna consciousness and sharing devotional service with them. You weren't afraid to let people know that you were a devotee. In fact, just the opposite. Although you didn't let people know in any conventional way, like by your outward dress or hairstyle, but by the deep and profound years of strength and faith in Guru and Krishna. You literally shouted through every pore of your being that you belong to Krishna and that the world should accept him also. I always appreciated that about you, sis. I loved your fearlessness and ability to be you and not conform, but to still be a devotee. I really loved that. You were so much you, you know. While you were preparing to give up your body in Radhadesh and make your way back home to be with the Lord, myself and Bhav were in the U.S. reading Brihad Bhagavatamrita daily as part of our sadhana. Over the time we were reading, I heard quite a few things from Brihad Bhagavatamrita that reminded me of you and your life's journey. And I wanted to share a couple of the poetic statements that I noted, and I wanted to share them with you on this day, feeling that they really reflected your nature and personality. Quote, "Love for Krishna is a deep ocean in which his pure devotees dive to their heart's content." End quote. Next one. Quote, "He is the ocean of all greatness. Simply remembering him assures all success. He is the master and only shelter of the most fallen, the provider of everything desirable to those who have nothing to possess." End quote. Quote, "O swan, gliding in the lakes of the Brajvasi's love, I wish that I may wander everywhere, always chanting, drinking the nectar of your names. Those most sweet names arise from the ocean of Gokul and spread the glories of your infinitely varied dress and ways of acting. As I wander, behaving like a madman, may I distribute joy to everyone in all the worlds." End quote. And the final one, quote, "An emperor swan likes to visit various lakes, where he swims about and enjoys at liberty, unimpeded by lesser birds. And Krishna finds his delight in the hearts of his surrendered devotees. Each heart a unique treasure house of a manifold ecstasies and loving dedication." End quote. I also made you a video, Janaki, that I had hoped you would see before you left. But as usual, just like me, I was late. And just like you, always on time. While making that video, a few times I cried like a baby, knowing you were going to leave us all here behind to clean up the mess and carry on without you. So, trying to write something for the Memorial Day, I penned the following, and figure I will conclude my effort to appreciate and glorify you with this. She had a laugh and a smile that could melt hearts. But she was no fool either. She knew Krishna. Of this, there was no doubt. I watched her faith grow and deepen, especially in the final 2 or 3 years after Krishna had given her a good taste of the material energy that forced her to really seek shelter, and then came the big test of cancer. Throughout this challenge, although sometimes she was definitely fearful, she remained strongly positive, grateful, and increasingly Krishna conscious. She found deep shelter in hearing and chanting. She was absorbed and reveled in the mercy of her beloved spiritual master, His Holiness Keshav Bharati Das Goswami Maharaj, whose compassionate and loving nature offered her a deep, honest, and profound sanctuary, whereby her serious and sincere desires and endeavors, she, like a butterfly, emerged from a cocoon of life struggles to share with the world her profound realizations and offerable talents in the shape of a very contemporary album called Above and Beyond. This was dedicated to that shelter, her spiritual master, and to the deepening relationship of the spiritual love between guru and disciple. What an amazing offering. She took so much time, precision, expertise, energy, which was not always so available as a recovering cancer patient, and Lakshmi to record, edit, produce, and press, and finally at last distribute it to the whole world. Stating to the universe in her own special way, revealing her heart in a polished, devotional, yet contemporary way, true to the Janaki way that we all knew and loved, that she belonged to Krishna, and that her spiritual master was above and beyond anything in this mundane world of duality. Maharaj was delivering her, and she was enthusiastic to be delivered. The last steps towards complete surrender were taken when she settled up her London property and moved to the devotional community of Radhadesh. She had talked about it for years, but finally, in apparently relatively good health, and with enthusiasm to expand her Krishna consciousness in the association of advanced and loving devotee friends, she made plans to shift. In the meantime, it seemed that such a serious decision was enough to show the Lord her true readiness to be with Him in the eternal devotional community of the spiritual world, and He accordingly delivered the final tests of detachment to this world and attachment to Him alone. Within a matter of weeks, she was on her way back to Him. My dear devotees, in my unhumble opinion, and as confirmed by the authority of her exalted spiritual master, she passed that test with flying colors, not just graduating to the divine realm, but also showing the rest of us here how it is to be done, and setting the example of a soul who sincerely struggled for years with worldly attachments, but who by the grace of Guru and Krishna traversed those struggles and shone like a diamond amidst the jewelry box of devotees surrounding her, forever now cast in time as yet another example of Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya's mercy. In the age of Kali, this woman, Her Grace Janaki Devi Dasi, Janaki Mataji, Janaki, Bhaktin Jack, Jacqueline Raymond, the one with the guitar who could really belt it out and who was never afraid to let you know she loved Krishna and that she was a devotee. She went back home, back to Godhead in this very life. It's a miracle. But really no surprise, because the opportunity is there for all of us, and she has definitely shown that to me. I just need to get serious and make myself ready like she was. Then I can go back too. Thank you, Janaki Mataji, my big sister, for all your kindness that you have shown me over the years, all the friendship that you have given me, for supporting, encouraging, chastising, and caring for me, just like the big sister I never had. I miss you, but I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you made it, and I beg you please continue to look out for me, protect me, so that I may also make it at the end of this life. Only by the mercy of Vaishnavas is anything possible. Hare Krishna. All glories to Janaki Mataji, a source of great inspiration and commitment to the path of bhakti. We love you, girl. Your servant brother, Janitai Das. Hare Krishna. So, anyway, I'll conclude now because this has probably gone on for long enough and everyone's getting a bit bored. But I just wanted to say one thing that was shared with me by the devotees after she passed away, and that was in her final days, one of the statements that she made to the devotees who were looking after her and assisting her and surrounding her when she departed. And one of her final statements was that this is the best death I've ever had. And I mean, the context, obviously she's lying on her deathbed about to leave her body, and she just looked in the eyes of one of the devotees and they were all chanting, and she was just like, out of all these so many births I've had, this is the best death I've ever had. And she was just positive up to the end, taking shelter of Krishna up to the end. And anyway, as I said, His Holiness Keshav Bharati Maharaj and the devotees that were surrounding her, that she was just really absorbed in Krishna up until the end. So, like that. Anyway, again, thank you very much, everyone, for being present for this event and festival there in Sridham Mayapur. I beg you, please pray for her. Of course, in one sense, she's already gone, but with this final ceremony celebrating her life, please honor Prasad and remember her favorably and pass your good wishes not only to her but to all of those who are now living in separation from her. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Janaki Mataji ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Sridham Mayapur ki jai.